Hello and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast, your shortcut to various opinions on all things pop culture. This is the episode for the week of November the 27th, 2021. I'm your host, David Parker, and joining me this week is...
Wil Dobratz.
Landon Browning.
And
this is Mick from Las Vegas calling in.
via
What's up,
Discord.
guys? If my voice glitches out, that's why.
It's because you're in Vegas.
I'm on Discord.
Because you're far away.
That's right.
You don't like doing remote podcasts, do you?
No, it sucks.
We had a long string of it due to COVID and some other stuff.
I hate it.
And Mick his engagement level was about as
all-time
low
low.
as you could be for
It sucked.
for running a show. So it is nice to be in person. Like,
Yes.
speaking of which, I am here in person with my fellow
what?
co-hosts today. Yeah.
Where are you?
You're on the computer screen, Dave.
Oh, right. No, I'm in Spokane with my friends. Oh, and Colby's not here.
Yeah, that's true.
Doing things with his girlfriend.
He didn't tell us what he was doing, actually, so we don't know where he is or what he's doing.
No.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, like, tentatively we plan to record podcast on Saturday, but, it's cool.
He
Whatever.
wanted to do it earlier in the morning.
We did say morning.
Yeah, but then did he forget that Wil stayed up, like, till 1 or 2 last night, and then there's no way Wil could have done it in the morning?
Yeah.
Or that
I was-
Michael also couldn't have done it very early in the morning, or that neither of us wanted to do it early in the morning at all?
I think
Fair enough.
I slept until like 9:30 or 10
Why were we
same.
up so late?
because it was the first ever fantastical Friday Friendsgiving at Landon's place.
What is that? What does that entail, Landon?
Woo!
You'd have to be there to know.
Applause.
I was there,
We
but pretend I wasn't.
We did a wonderful feast for all of our friends. Actually, well, Ben was not able to make it because he was sick, which was really sad. So most of our friends were able to make it. Ben, out of our whole entire friend group, I think the only 2 that didn't make it were Ben and Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Bick wasn't there, but he has like
He has
kids
a family.
and,
He has
a
responsibilities
wife and everything. So.
yeah. So,
But there was like 10 of us at one point all
Yep.
eating together.
Yeah.
But we made like basically a Thanksgiving feast with all of us except in doing something like, instead of doing something like turkey or ham, Michael and Landon spearheaded the beef Wellington enterprise. So if you don't know what beef Wellington is, it's some magical dish that's this like the softest, most tender beef wrapped in glorious sauces and then covered in puff pastry. And then it's
and some Parma ham.
yeah, there's like prosciutto or Parma in the middle and
And
stuff.
some type of mustard.
Probably the greatest beef entree that I've ever had.
Now,
it was incredible.
Now I have not had it before.
I don't think anybody.
Nor have I
any
made
of
it
us have.
before. And you guys hadn't had it or made it. So this was a first for all of us on very many fronts.
I'm just gonna say, Landon and I effing nailed it.
Yeah, we killed it.
We hit it out of the park, not just once because we made 2. We did it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to thank someone though for your success, who would that someone be?
Go
Gordon.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah,
That's
there you
be
go.
Gordon.
Absolutely.
Good old Gordon.
The chef.
We basically
You're light in the dark.
we basically just did the whole thing by watching his Christmas
Beef
Wellington video.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I heard snippets of "Oh Christmas Tree"
Smells like Christmas.
coming from a different part of the kitchen. I was talking to my mom about this today because I love to cook and to bake, but I don't really like to watch videos making things. I like reading recipes. Actually, like video games too. If I have to find collectibles or something, I don't like using videos. I actually find it harder than using a list or a map. Maps are my favorite ways to find things in video games. If I'm trying to do collectibles, but videos where they go here's all 75 collectibles in this game, and it's a 40-minute long video, and I'm like, well, now I have to figure out, well, which specific collectible am I missing, and then scroll through and then be like, oh no, that's not it. I like a map that has it all pointed out, and then I can just boop, 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 boop around. So the map to food is a recipe for me. So when I make food, I do not like to watch videos. I like to use a very strict recipe. Now, Mick and Landon,
You're not a visual person.
I'm a visual person with some things. I think when it comes to important steps, though, videos, I just don't respond as well.
Interesting.
Now Mick is more visual, I would say, in all those kind of regards. So yeah, Mick and Landon, they were using this video. I don't think they ever pulled up a recipe. Did you guys, or would you just use the
only
video?
time I pulled up the recipe was buying the ingredients.
Buying the ingredients. Yeah. So I don't think they ever pulled up a recipe. They just had the video going over and over and over again, and they'd rewind. But even without that, like seeing all the the list of stuff or like the step by steps, just following what he was saying, they ended up producing this excellent dinner that was just.
It was fantastic.
The thing with
good.
the beef Wellington though is it's not just like, oh, put some sauces in this pot, 10 minutes after you do this step. It's like, okay, you need to assemble this thing, and here is like exactly how it needs to be rolled up. Like that's why I think the video was probably best to do, especially since we'd never done it before.
What do you think the prep time was? It was like over 2 hours to prep the thing.
Yeah, and
I'd
it was
say over like 3 hours.
It was long.
We had some pauses in between.
I mean, if you do it, you could probably have the whole thing ready within an hour.
Yeah, if you've done it a few times.
Yeah, easy, I think.
I think some of the things you could do well before, like the
Duxelle?
The Duxelle, yeah. That I think you could actually prepare the day before for the most part, and then just take it out later and then apply it.
You could do the whole thing the day before and then cook it the next day.
What was the hardest part of constructing the Wellington?
Rolling it all together. That was the scariest part.
Probably
rolling it into the puff pastry.
Probably
or rolling
the
it into
prosciutto or Parma ham with the Duxelle.
Yeah,
that was probably the trickiest part. And also, so we have like saran wrap that we're helping to roll the thing, and then we kind of twist it tight into like a burrito thing.
A giant burrito.
Yeah, our plastic wrap, it wasn't very wide, so it was hard for us to like seal it and have like these handles we could help twist it tight.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it's supposed to be like a Tootsie Roll almost, where you like tie off.
Pretty
because you do
much.
the same thing if you make like chicken cordon bleu. It's kind of the same kind of process where you put it all out there and then you roll it up using the plastic and you tie it off and then you let it sit for a certain amount of time so that it gets its shape.
Yeah, but that was probably the trickiest part. But honestly, it wasn't that difficult. It was just one that we had never done it before. Two, that we were doing it for this like big house party with a bunch of people that were expecting a good feast.
You guys were pretty high strong.
I was nervous.
It was nerve wracking, especially whenever I'm cooking steaks or something. I'm always like, man, this it's such a crucial time frame from really good steak or it's overcooked.
Yeah, that was nerve wracking.
You're sick.
Yeah, like we got it like wrapped, and then it was like, okay, it looks really good. And then it's like, oh, now we have to like cook the thing.
Yeah,
and you could just totally. You know what I mean? You could
you could ruin the entire thing at the very
Well, this thing too, like the meat. Since we had so many people eating, it's supposed to be like the recipes I was looking at were like 1 pound like loaves of meat, basically like 1 to maybe 1.5 pounds. And so Landon ended up getting 4 pounds of meat. So they cut it in half and made 2 separate ones using different mustards for each one. So when they're baking it, part of like how the oven functions is like the times are designed very specifically for having one thing in the oven kind of like on the specific rack that it's supposed to be, but also in the center of that rack. And when you have to add more things, so like we offset it, so you have one on a higher rack, one on a lower rack, and then like one on the left side and the right side. That is the best you can do to accommodate it, but usually you have to cook something longer because it's harder for the air to circulate through the oven. So at that point, when we put them in, we're like, well, we know we're supposed to do it like, was it 30 minutes?
35 minutes.
30 or 35 minutes. And we're like, okay, well, now we kind of just have to hope that it's done, check, stick the meat thermometer in there and then go for it.
That was nerve-wracking.
So we ended up having to, like, you guys took it out and checked the temperature, and it was like 102 or something.
It was like 95 and one, and then like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was like, how do we like put it back in? And
yeah, so like, well,
because it was getting to the point where it's like, well, if we cook it too much longer, we're going to start burning the
puff pastry.
The puff pastry on the outside, yeah.
But we still needed the inside to be a good like medium rare.
I like a good cold meat in the middle.
And I mean, I can't believe we got it. Like, I mean, we made the first cut and it was like, oh, yeah. It's like we nailed it.
I would say it came out about as perfect
as you could possibly,
as what we were wanting and expecting. So,
I was telling, I think Dave last night, it was like the only thing probably I think we could have done a little bit better was during the Duxelle part. We had chestnuts chopped up in the mushrooms, and I think we could have made those nuts a little bit more grainy because there were some bigger chunks, which it wasn't bad, but it was definitely like, oh, there's a chestnut. where I think it's supposed to be kind of this one
paste
flavor, thing with just the flavors mixing in.
Did you guys try any of the?
My mouth is watering.
Did you guys try any of the roasted chestnuts separate?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I was too focused on.
Oh, did we? Yeah, there was
on Wellington.
Yeah,
they were good. They were fun. They were kind of like a weird, like spongy texture, but if you like hazelnuts or something, or like kind of like those type of, I would say, holiday nuts. I thought they were really good. I thought they were fun. I've never had them before, so.
Yeah, but it turned out you, Dave, you made a really good green bean casserole.
Made green bean casserole. Will, we'll talk about.
What'd you make, Will?
I made mashed potatoes.
What's special about these mashed potatoes, Will?
They're mashed.
They're real potatoes.
They're real potatoes, yeah. They're not instant.
Well, okay, so real quick, like our friend Ben, who's been on the show before, he was supposed to bring potatoes, but because he got sick, he wasn't able to show up. So we were already like here working on stuff. So I'm like scrambling, trying to figure out what to do for potatoes. So I message Will, because Will's bringing food that essentially he didn't have to make. So I felt like it was easiest to ask him to see if he could maybe like.
No, I thought that was fair.
Provide some potatoes. So he's like, yeah, I'll swing by the stores. Like, is instant okay? And Mick and Landon and I were like, what? Like, is he
Absolutely
like, is he
not.
joking?
yeah. We can't have this. We can't have this super expensive cut of meat on the table and then just
And like boxed
Instant mashed potatoes.
Have you had instant mashed potatoes?
No,
Will?
I haven't.
They're gross.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
They're all
My
right.
bad.
I don't
My bad.
actually mind them that much.
They're not bad, but just for this like event,
I don't like them.
if we had like $150 cut of beef,
Yeah.
you can't
I'm sorry.
instant potatoes
I'm sorry.
next
I
to
did
it.
not know. I'm sorry.
So
I think Will was expecting us to just have like a peanuts Thanksgiving thing where we have like popcorn and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and stuff. Like, no, Will, this is
Doing
serious.
this for real. We're adults now. We're doing
This
it
is
for
real.
So Will shows up. He brings potatoes. He's got some stuff. But so yes, what's special about them is that they're mashed, Will. But what else was special about these mashed potatoes?
This was like the first time I cooked something that's complex, quote and complex.
I want to give my
myself.
favorite Will quote from the kitchen. Like Mick and I are in the middle of like making this super complex like dish. Like we're like like
An
putting all these
actual
mushrooms up.
complex.
And then I hear Will go, Dave, how do I tell if the water's boiling? And I'm like, I looked at Mick. I'm like,
The lid was on. The lid was on.
So,
Which is it's insane because your mom is like an excellent cook.
Yeah.
Like she can cook anything, and it's like the best thing you've ever had.
Yeah.
Apparently, you've learned nothing over the years from her.
It wasn't that I've learned
You don't even
nothing.
know what boiling water is supposed to look like.
I know what boiling water looks like. I don't know. It was a stupid question. I was super nervous because
you know what, Will?
I didn't want to screw up Friendsgiving.
Those mashed potatoes were amazing.
Yep.
Really?
I thought
Really
they
good.
were really good. And I like mashed potatoes when there's like a little bit of like skin in there and it's
Oh,
not
really?
like one like consistent texture. I like a little more like, ooh, there's like a chunky thing here and there. But I thought it was really good. You did a very good job, Will.
Thank you.
no, they were
I
good.
think the secret was the cream cheese and the whipped cream and the butter.
yeah.
All three.
And yeah, not instant.
And Will's magic stirring.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
My around, up, and down.
Around town.
Bring it around.
Yeah, it was a good feast.
I enjoyed it.
I don't even feel like I ate that much, but I was like super full.
Honestly,
yeah.
I think, well, I did snack a lot. Like after we were done with our stuff, Landon, I was
Stress
like,
eating.
I was like coming out to the like living room, like, ooh, there's a little bit of cheeses and some meat cubes and stuff, and
There weren't enough Ritz crackers though. Like I felt like there was a shortage of Ritz crackers.
if only.
Now, if you missed our consumerism talk last week,
I don't think I took a dent in my Ritz crackers because
well, the problem is
everybody brought them. I like the only thing I sent in the chat like about like what not to bring. I'm like, I have plenty of crackers. And then I think like 2 or 3 other people showed up with like a box or 2 of Ritz crackers. I'm like, what?
Who showed up?
Oliver brought some, and then
Really?
Brendan.
And
Brendan
Brendan
brought
brought
Ritz
gosh.
crackers. Like,
Because I knew that, so I just brought the cream cheese and red
yeah.
pepper jam.
I
I,
kept
was
saying-
like,
I'm
I
like,
could
I-
just bring this, and you can use crackers to put it on and eat it, which was really good, by the way.
Cool.
well, Friendsgiving.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we do? We played games.
Yes, we did play games. We played. We always play that game.
Code names.
Monikers.
Monikers.
That's it. Yeah, monikers.
Did we talk about that? Playing that from the Vegas trip, or
I think we probably
We
did.
probably did.
It's a fun word game. Word
yeah?
association.
It's like catchphrase /taboo /charades / what else? Yelling,
Yeah, yelling.
all mixed into one.
And it's fun, though, because it gets more meta each round.
Yeah.
You develop hints from previous rounds for the words. Like, it's word association. Like, what did someone struggle with on this? Like, it's a funny hint that would clue you in on this word.
That is why I like how
It's more personal.
I like how the different phases, go from one to the other, and how the previous phases affect them. So, what it is like it's this. I don't think we've talked about the rules or the game actually on the show. I don't remember.
Dave.
So it's this card game. You get these cards. Each person has they're like apples to apples cards, kind of, where it's just like a noun. Usually, it's like a person, place, or thing. They're more likely to be like more recent, I would say, references, because there's stuff like memes in there and things like that, but also they're like stuff from history, stuff from pop culture, stuff from science, things like that. So you have all these cards, everyone picks a certain amount, you mix them all up, and then you split up into teams. And so the first round is you have the card and you're just trying to get your team to guess what you have on your card, and you can say anything you want except the name at the top of the card, which is fairly simple. So, and 5 of the cards that are in there because you yourself chose 5 of them. So you keep doing that back and forth until all the cards are gone. And sometimes that can take like a rotation or two. But once you've seen the cards, you know what's in there, so it's easier to remember. You get to round 2, and you take the same cards, same teams, you shuffle up the cards, you do the same kind of thing, but instead of being able to just, say whatever you want, you can only say one word. So this is where things like Landon was saying start to come into it, like remembering where people struggled, or like what was a specific word that clued people into something. And so sometimes the game can get a little frustrating because you think you know a good word that will clue people in, but the other people just aren't connecting. So you're like shooting through cards, and
then you have like the person who's saying yell at you for
then you have people yelling, and
No. Sometimes I get fired up. Sometimes.
So round 3 is you same thing, same team, same cards, shuffle them up, but then it just turns into straight charades. So and that's when it gets the most wild, I think. And
that's when it gets, because you have a good grasp of all the cards.
You have a good grasp of all the cards.
Can the person
But there's like 40 of them too. And some of the cards have like longer names, and so we play that you have to say exactly what's on the card.
Like literally exactly.
Yeah.
You have to include the, ors, ands, a's, everything from. Yeah.
So
instead of
it's a fun chaotic game. So we played that. We played that quite a bit this week, haven't we?
Yeah, we
played
have.
a few times.
Yeah. Well, since we got in, we've hung out a couple times. What else have we done this week?
We hung out.
Played football.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Thursday, so we came for Thanksgiving. I had Thanksgiving with my family, but that morning, we and a large group of people went and played football, like at the park, like a pigskin kind of pickup game at the park. And a lot of us hadn't played, I think, in a couple of years, right? Football, because we used to play like every year. Thanksgiving morning, we would get a big group of people and we would play.
I don't think there was one last year because of COVID.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year there was a good turnout. A lot of people that were, I'd say, relatively like close skill levels.
Mm-hmm.
There were outliers, people that were like pretty good, and then some people like me who are like less athletic.
You got a pass though.
Oh, I got a couple passes, I was more like a team captain, less like
What did I
out
say
there for
that morning?
athleticism,
Said he
more
was
for like
more brains, not
Brawn. I was like, Dave's a good thinker, but he's not a good fighter.
Well, it depends what I'm fighting for, I guess. But but we had a lot of fun. We played for like a couple hours, and we finished a game. We actually it was the putt posse against basically other people. So that was fun because we all got to be on the same team together and work together, and we ended up winning, which was even cooler.
That was cool.
We dominated it.
I'm gonna be honest.
All it did was just affirm how fat-headed we are, and all it did is just inflate our already giant egos.
I thought it was possible we could win, like a good possibility. I didn't think we'd smush the other team.
I was expecting either like a close game or a blowout the other way around.
Yes.
Because like Michael and me,
Mick threw 2 touchdown passes.
we can
What are you
throw
talking about?
sometimes, but
Hey,
we're not the greatest.
I
runners.
recollect your drive ended with 0 for 4 completions in the red zone.
I got close. I got us there. I just couldn't. I just couldn't seal the deal.
Get the ball at the 10-yard line.
Notice how Dave likes to take me down with him.
Dude, Mick threw 2 touchdowns.
I said
yeah. Michael was a
running.
good
I said
quarterback.
running. I said we're not good runners.
Of course, like all we got to
gotta
do for a
run, I
touchdown is like throw it up or toss it to Brendan.
I got some tackles.
I'm just saying. Okay, so Mick and I are going there. We're both close to 30. We're playing with like 16 and 18-year-olds who are in much better shape. That's more what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to
Gotcha.
like throw us both down. I'm just saying my expectations for our team's success wasn't like super high, but I was there to have fun.
Will and I played really well.
No,
Yeah.
you guys.
Will
did.
had a few interceptions.
Yeah, I had 2 picks,
I had a couple rushing touchdowns.
And,
Mick threw a
I-
touchdown to me.
Touchdown to
I
you,
think I
Brent?
threw a touchdown to Brendan. So
Who didn't? I didn't.
you didn't. I think we all did except you.
I think where we shined is I think the other team, like we said, was like probably the younger team. More in like the
yeah.
16 to probably 19 age
Yeah.
range, and we were all probably
They had Jordan too on the other team.
Yep, in our 20s and late 20s. But I think what really paid what got us the game was our patience. Mm-hmm. Like once we got ahead by like a point or two, they started like just
Airing it out.
they just started airing it out to the end.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
also did like short passes and like smarter plays. They were like, Hail Mary.
They wanted it on one play.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they got it like
once
I think
or
one
twice.
time.
Yeah, which is good. It's almost good if they get it once. Cause they're like, just a
False
taste-
hope.
Yeah, just a taste of that glory, and then you just keep.
Just a touchdown. But yeah, we won, and then we're like, let's take a little break. We'll play again
another.
in 10 minutes. We get new teams,
Kind of.
which were basically the exact same teams for the most part.
Except David and somebody else switched.
Yeah, we swapped. And then we started playing. We're having a good time. We're like, 10 minutes in?
Yeah,
I'm on the far end of the field, and then I hear like blood-curdling scream.
Wait, can I show an example?
I don't know if that's best, but go ahead.
It was like
Watch the levels.
it was like
that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
accurate.
kind of like that. So yeah, I'm on the other end of the field, going like, oh no. So anyone who's over on my side just like sprints down there. Landon, you were on that side of the field.
I
Do
was
you want to
directly involved.
explain what happened?
So I was covering a friend of the show, Jordan, and he went out for a pass, and he like made a cut. He tried to make a cut to like the outside, but when he planted with his right foot, I believe he planted on my foot.
Did he already catch the ball?
No, I don't even think it was thrown his way.
It wasn't thrown his way.
Oh,
He planted with his right foot to cut over, but he planted like on my left foot with his cleat, so he didn't have good, grip, and it like gave out. And he just hits the ground. He like rolled over. He's like screaming. He's like, "Oh my knee! Oh god!" And I'm just standing there. I'm like, "Oh no!" Like he's like, "I heard it pop. I heard it pop." And I'm like, "Oh no!"
yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm sure it's been talked on the show before, but years ago, it would have been like 2015, 2014.
2014, I think.
That long ago?
Yeah.
It's when there was a PS5 was already out.
PS4.
PS4
Sorry,
was already out.
PS4 was already out because then it resulted
been
in a PS4.
2015 then. I think I got my PlayStation 4 in 2015. So
I wish Colby
Maybe
was here because I
I
bet
don't
he
know.
would be able to tell us.
Oh, he would
the
totally
day
be
and the
able to
time.
remember.
Because what happened was we were playing football with a bunch of friends, and Jordan broke
Colby's
femur.
leg. His femur.
Like-
yeah. Not his leg.
like-
his like
like-
femur.
yeah,
femur.
like
Compound
Clear
fracture,
in-
I believe, right?
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it was like
coming
a clean
out.
break.
Yeah,
It was like-
but it was a clean break. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like this was probably some like really delayed cosmic justice.
Does that mean I'm next up though? Like,
The cycle continues.
I don't know the way you
This is some Final
explain-
Destination stuff right here.
The way you explain it though is that it sounds like it was Jordan's fault.
I don't know if it's his fault. Like, it's just an accident.
Oh, is it God's fault?
Oh, whoa.
that came out of nowhere. Didn't you say he tried to do like some like cool special like
Well, he was trying to
football move to
spin.
like save it?
He was trying. Well, what he told the
No.
parent. Okay, so maybe we should continue.
The field we were playing on is at a park right by a fire station, and there was a couple like firefighters and paramedics just hanging outside the fire station, like probably like a couple hundred yards away. So like we just waved at them to come down. They went ahead and just came down and checked him out, and he was like, by the time they It was actually funny by the time they're coming down there. Jordan's like, "Oh, it doesn't actually feel that bad anymore." Like he's like, "I'll just pretend that it's hurt worse, so I don't feel bad for calling them down."
Oh my gosh.
And then I guess you said he explained to them that like he tried to do a cool football move and hurt his knee pop.
Yes, yeah. So the paramedics are over there talking to him, and they're like getting all his information, date of birth, stuff like that. And so they're asking what happened. So Jordan said something along the lines of, "Yeah, so like I was trying to do like a cool football move or cool spin off to break away, and then I heard the pop, and then that's when I went down." So out of Jordan's own lips, he was trying to do some cool football move.
Yeah.
And got punished for it by God.
Got punished for it by his knees, or
Thankfully, it doesn't sound like it's anything. I mean, it's not.
It doesn't sound super serious.
Yeah,
based off of the location and everything, it sounds like the suspected injury is a tear of the meniscus or an issue with his meniscus, which is, I think it connects the two tendons, and it like goes through underneath the kneecap.
Yeah,
No idea.
Sure, yeah,
on top of the knee.
Something like that.
it's a pretty non-invasive surgery. It's like a 2 or 3 week recovery.
It can be. I have read that sometimes you need to have it surgically fixed.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
surgery,
okay.
like,
you mean after surgery? Okay.
yeah,
I
it's
thought
just
you were
like you just have to have it scoped, basically. Like they just blow it up. And
arthroscopy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
So hopefully that resolves itself soon, or that Jordan can get that figured out. Because Jordan and you, Landon, Colby, and myself are supposed to go to Cincinnati next weekend.
yeah.
So Jordan might be like being wheeled around by us or something, or on crutches.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
Yeah. We'll find a way. I'm
We
bummed
will
for him
find a
though,
way.
because
Or you will find a way.
before he like really came to and was like like his normal self, one of the first things he said, he was like, "No, like Cincinnati," and I was
I
I felt
sad.
so bad. I was like, "Oh no, like Jordan thinks that the trip is over," and I'm like, so I was like, "No, Jordan, don't worry, like we'll make it work. You'll be okay. Like you have 3 other friends with you." Could you? Oh, so we talked about the trip it was either last week, the week prior, because we talked about him camping. Like, could you imagine if he was going by himself? Like what?
Oh,
Like what would?
I don't think he'd be able to go like in general anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you know what? Landon and I were heroes, and then Colby, tagged along.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think the only
Is that always what happens?
I feel like the only discomforting part's gonna be the flight because he might have to have his leg.
Yeah, because his leg, he probably wants to keep it.
But maybe he
Hopefully he
could
can
get
sit
like
on the
probably get
outside
a
seat.
left aisle.
Or even like a
It's funny because he was so we're flying American,
I believe so. Yeah.
and we are all in the same row on the flight from Dallas
Dallas
to
to-
Cincinnati, and Jordan was so excited because he had the window seat, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get to sit in the window seat." So I do not think he's gonna
Be able to
be
sit
able
in
to
the
sit in the window seat
seat.
anymore. So
That's
Landon,
like the most crowded seat easily.
yeah, so Landon probably will get a chance to sit at the
Yay.
window. Did you sit at the window on either of your flights
On
to
the
Vegas?
one back.
Okay.
So it was nighttime though.
Were you just screaming the whole time?
I was like, oh. I kept doing like the thing, like the Twilight Zone. I'm like, there's something on the wing.
There's something on the wing. It's an engine. Did you like flying, or did it scare you, or was it cool? Like,
Nah, I don't-
were you indifferent to
I
it?
felt like it was kind of boring. It's just like sit there and watch a movie. Like, eh.
Did you at least like watch the takeoff and watch?
Oh
the
yeah, I
landing?
like.
Okay,
yeah, that
okay,
part,
cool.
Yeah.
I love every takeoff and every landing. I'm like a little kid, like staring out the window.
Yeah.
All I could think, I'm like, am I going to be part of a news article?
It's a,
No.
it's a lot better to fly during the day, like in the morning when the sun is like rising.
You can
and
see
stuff.
more, and like
At night, it's not fun because it's like you see the lights, which is really cool going up. You see the lights of the city coming down, but like if there's nothing really in between, then it's kind of hard to justify looking out the window a lot.
Well, when I fly somewhere, I like to try to notice landmarks to see where we are and like pinpoint things. And you just can't do that very well at night. It's much harder during the day. Like it's so much fun to like point things out and be like, oh, that's this, that's that, and then like we know where we are and you can tell better what direction you're going. And it's just, I don't know, it's more fun. So I agree. I definitely agree. But yeah, Jordan is probably gonna get some scan on Monday to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'll probably get an MRI.
So hopefully it's nothing too big, but I mean, if it is like a tear, hopefully he can get that taken care of pretty soon so that he can get back to shape. So how's that going to affect work? Because Mick and Jordan work together. He works in a warehouse, doesn't he?
yeah, and he's on his feet all day, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
Are you going to have to like take over any of his responsibilities for a while, or
Hopefully not.
because aren't you just the next one up above him?
We We had another guy, but he just got fired. So
Oh no.
So it is you.
it'll either be me or probably the other shop guy.
So are you mad at Jordan that he?
Yeah, he sucked.
Well, I hope Jordan has a swift and full recovery.
I'm confident.
Yeah. So yeah, football, a lot of fun. Other than that one thing that threw everything off. How was your guys' Thanksgivings with family? Did you guys do anything special or pretty relaxed?
It was super relaxed for my family. It was just hang out, hang around, watch some football, talk, snack on some crackers and cream cheese. And
Ritz crackers?
Ritz crackers.
Oh boy.
No, actually,
Landon
these are
has some.
gluten-free crackers, so
Oh boy.
not as good.
Yeah.
Who eats gluten free in your household?
My sister, Kate. So yeah,
Wait,
Oh,
how long?
boy.
Like
a couple of years.
oh, okay.
She was having a lot of issues with health leading up to not cutting out gluten, and then she cut out gluten, and a lot of her health issues pretty much disappeared. So
I've never tried to do non-gluten. I wonder if because do you guys ever think about stuff like this with certain? I'm sure this has crossed Landon's mind because it's Landon. So certain type of things. You're like, I wonder how many things that I have issues with that I just I'm so used to that I almost don't recognize it as a problem.
yeah,
You're like, I wonder if I did this. I wonder if what happens if I switched to vegan for 3 weeks? How would I feel?
Oh,
If
it's
I, or if
way
I did
more energy.
non-gluten for 3 weeks or vegetarian for 3 weeks or something like that. Just different type of diets that I would say are considered healthier than others or something.
My diet's poor.
It's yeah, maybe I'm have some horrible sickness and I just need to change up my lifestyle.
yeah. Go ahead and try it.
Sounds like a lot of work. Why would you suggest that, Will?
No reason.
Is it because I didn't throw any touchdown passes?
It's less the touchdowns and 0 for 4.
Okay.
So I think you should punish yourself by eating worse.
I would go throw the football with my friends again, practice.
Yeah, hopefully you get better.
Yeah, that's the point. I like football though.
Football's really fun to play with friends.
Yeah.
I didn't play growing up really, at the age where most people experience
Learn the game.
Yeah, learn the game or play it.
Yeah,
So
same.
my enjoyment or love for the game came when I was almost too old, which kind of
To
sucks.
begin, yeah.
Because I think it's fun and I love the elements of
Strategy.
the strategy and just the elements of the game itself. We play flag football, which I think is probably the best thing we can do for all of
Somewhat
our
safer,
bodies.
yeah.
Yeah, more safer than touch, because we've done touch in the past. That results in a lot more injuries.
And it's also a lot more
Oh, you didn't.
it's not as clear as
Yeah.
oh, you tackled me. Oh, it's one hand, two hand, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's a lot more physical, and it's harder to have longer plays or have more fun plays because all you have to do is just touch someone with 2 hands, which is way easier than trying to grab a flag off someone. So yeah, it feels like it's a good kind of in between kid football and then something that's more serious. But I wonder what it would be like to play full tackle in
I
a
would
full.
probably be very bad. I would be very bad at it.
Yeah, we would be bad, but I try to. I think sometimes when you see people out there playing, it just looks so fun, and the element of things you can do, where you actually have to tackle someone who's running the ball instead of just taking a flag off, things like that. Just imagine if you're a running back and barrel through people. I don't know. I feel like that'd be cool.
It would be funny.
Mick, you played. Mick, you played football, didn't you? It was flag football, but you actually played on a team. Do you remember much of it, or how old were you? 9?
I was probably 8 or 9. Yeah. It was kids flag football, so it wasn't anything special or amazing. I got 1 tackle the entire season, so that was cool.
Did you just play defense, or?
I think my coach was kind of an idiot. It was the typical coach is a jerk and doesn't really.
He wasn't there to teach the kids and let the kids have fun. It was about.
Yeah, and I came onto the team where the kids had been playing with each other for a couple years, and the coach's son was on the team, that type of stuff. And so I was kind of the.
Hey, was the coach's son the quarterback?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was typical stuff.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So I didn't really have fun, but it's kid sports.
I think the children of the coaches, from what I remember playing soccer, were always my least favorite players on the teams I was on. They're always the most annoying. They could get away with the most stuff.
They're the most arrogant. Like they strut around. Like they're like
My dad was my soccer coach one year when I was a kid.
That makes
strutting around. Like they own the place. I mean, they do act like they're like second in command, and it just gets. I hate it. Yeah, it's annoying.
Well,
I think they should take some random guy off the street and just coach a bunch of random kids.
take
That's what
ball
they
and
should
run.
do, right?
Yeah.
What was it like, Will, to be the son of the coach?
Can't remember that much, honestly. Like how I felt about it. I remember like specific things I did, but not much
How'd
about
the other kids
how.
feel about it?
I mean, it was fine. I felt like there was like similar expectations for me than everybody else. I didn't feel special. In fact, part of me felt like I was being pushed harder in some ways. So
That's fair. I mean, I know your dad, so he doesn't seem like one of those kind of coaches that we were talking about.
Yeah.
So. How old were you?
probably 8 or 9 or 10, somewhere around there.
Did you enjoy soccer? Like, how long did you play?
I wish I played it more. So I played pretty much up until like the 3rd or 4th grade, I think. That's when you had to start trying out for soccer. Like you couldn't just play.
Yeah, you can.
play,
You don't just pay and then you
Pay to
put on
play.
like a kiddie league or whatever.
Yeah. So I wish I kept going with it because I really do enjoy soccer still. I just can't dribble anymore. Because I have basically all new legs and.
For those who don't know, Will had a surgery.
If you've seen that South Park episode, Will really wanted to be a soccer player.
Dolphin.
No, but I wish I kept up with it, but at the same time, it's like my shins don't have any problems right now, so
We'll see
kind of a
about
trade off.
Okay. That's the downside of sports. It's
like
just even
chronic injuries,
Even Jordan getting hurt. It's like shoot.
Yeah.
Here's another injury.
There's another reason why you should never play sports.
What?
What?
Yeah. The only upside is fun.
I wish I had enjoyed sports more as a kid.
Yeah.
Because same with like football. Like I played soccer. I played tennis. I played t-ball one year when I was
Same. I
like
did
5
t-ball
years
once.
old. But like I enjoyed soccer, but I did not enjoy it to keep playing it. Basically, my parents like tried to push me to continue playing, and I was like, nah, I don't want to anymore. Like looking back, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have kept playing because I like the joy that you can get from like organized sports like that can be a lot of fun. And something like soccer, I think it's you still are potential to have bad injuries and stuff like that, but it's not like football. Not like football
It's not
potential.
like non-contact knee injuries. Like
yeah, exactly.
soccer.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not smacking into other huge human bodies, constantly. So,
That's why I like tennis. I played tennis in high school because it was like the safest sport.
tennis is really fun too.
Never had afraid of getting a concussion or something. Like I had a
Hit yourself in the racket.
hit yourself
He's
in
in
the racket.
He's in concussion protocol. Or
Protocol?
Did Dave
protocol.
have a concussion?
Dave has.
You hit yourself in the head with the racket.
Yeah.
That's possible. I think my biggest fear in tennis is getting hit with a serve, like in the nuts or something like that.
I got hit in the face with
I think I'd rather.
what?
I can't decide. I was gonna say I think I'd rather get hit in the crotch, but I don't know.
Dude, some of those serves are fast, man.
Not mine.
Yeah. I never did any team sports either. I did fencing for a couple years, but that's like just super nerdy. It's really fun though.
You could be a pirate.
It looks fun. I almost started fencing.
I think everybody here would like it.
Dave tried to.
I wish I could have done. I wanted to do fencing or something similar to that. Some type of
You could totally do it.
saber.
I bet there's tons of.
Is it
fencing in Vegas.
expensive? I mean, it's probably
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
It's probably super expensive.
That was the downside.
We
But
could just go out in Landon's backyard and
Stick fight.
stick fight again.
That was one of my favorite things to do as a kid. Was just like
Stick fighting.
stick fighting with neighbor kids or friends. Especially like 2002, 2003.
Were you the best in the neighborhood?
That was
We literally
while.
were the best in the neighborhood because we had all the neighborhood kids.
nothing better than post 9/11 stick fighting.
well. It was more like
It was Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings inspired.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the kids like that. So
okay.
Like Two Towers had just come out.
It's not politically and racially fueled.
I didn't say that.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
Well, Hawaii too, like there's so many trees and stuff, and so we had sticks all over the place that were like perfect sizes to use as swords for children, and then there were these trees that would drop these kind of like long, slender, thin pieces that were like almost like a giant leaf was supposed to be on the end of it. So we would pick those up, and those would be our like bows and arrows. So you would like whip them and like flick them at people, and you could like throw them really far. So like if you were an archer, that's what you would use. So you'd have like a bundle of those, and you'd like just huck them at kids from far away, and you'd have people with like and then you'd be like dual wielding like smaller sticks, like whacking away at people, and then you have people that have like almost great swords and stuff. But the base we lived on, our neighborhood was just filled with children. So like every person who was in the military that had all these houses, most of them had like 2 to 4 kids. So
crazy.
So, and most of them, I would say, were around the same age as Michael and me. Some were a little younger, some were a little older, but we were able to have a lot of people to just like spend time with outside during the day. And because it was Hawaii, the weather was always really nice, so you could do this year round. And there were quite a few other homeschool kids. So like across the street, there was 2 homeschool kids, and there was a couple others on our same block. So even when all the regular kids were at public school or private school, we still had people that we could hang out with.
The nerds
while we
come out and play.
Yeah.
All together.
I finished my Becca math. Oh my God. Let's hit each other with sticks.
I'm the only non-homeschooler here. Except
And
Mike
you're
went
the
to high
weirdest
school.
one here.
Yeah.
It's not true. Landon's the weirdest one.
I
here.
am. Yeah.
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right?
No. What'd you do for Thanksgiving, Landon?
Played in the turkey bowl with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then
One in the turkey bowl.
one in the turkey bowl.
Snapped Jordan's meniscus.
Yep, on purpose. I saw his foot coming out. I said, "Whoop." Slid mine right underneath. And then I went to my parents' house and just hung out all day. Ate some food, watched a bunch of football, played a game, watched a movie.
So you had like a turkey family or ham family or something?
We did like a
else?
rib roast, I think it was. Or some kind of beef roast. It was really good. And then had
That sounds really good.
potatoes and bread.
Instant?
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Nope, they weren't.
I'm
they weren't.
sorry.
My little sister made homemade ones, I'm pretty sure.
Nah, I'm just giving you a bad time, Will.
It was good. My parents have a lot of animals, and my allergies always.
Act up.
Yeah, how many cats do they have right now?
4 cats and 2 dogs.
So you walk in and your eyes just get all puffy.
It's like
and
within probably 30 to 40 minutes, I'm sneezing uncontrollably. It's mostly sneezing, and my eyes a little watery. Like, I mean, it was the point where like I bet you throughout the day I probably sneezed 250 times. Would be my guess.
Oh,
Did you
that sounds
say
terrible?
250?
250
guess.
times.
That would be my guess.
Oh,
That might be
gosh.
high, but that's what it felt like.
I can't imagine that.
It was at the point where it was like every 20 seconds, it was just like violently sneezing. I tried to.
Doesn't your like throat hurt after that?
It got to the point where I was tired, like my like chest hurt.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
that's like what happens to me. Sometimes I'll get hiccups for a couple days, and I get to the point where like my chest
in pain.
Yeah, like it really hurts because you just can't stop hiccuping.
Yeah. I'll be right back. I gotta get some water.
Yeah, so it's been really nice. Mick and we went to my parents' house. We had Thanksgiving dinner. My grandparents came over, and then my dad's some of his family was there, and some of Brianna's sisters came for a while too. So it was nice. Like I love Thanksgiving. So
We played darts.
oh yeah, we played darts. We played pool. We watched School of Rock, which Michael and I've seen quite a few times. So
School of Rock
So
is
like
fun.
that was like end of the night kind of thing. So we were like,
That's like one of the best fun movies of all time. It's just School of Rock. Like I could watch it over
Honestly-
and over again.
Honestly, anything with Jack Black, I'm there for.
He's funny.
He's a funny guy.
Freaking funny. Like he's one of those actors or comedians that's like he just has like a face, and you just instantly like him.
you just see
and
the face
laugh.
and you're like just ready to
Yeah,
burst out into laughter.
like he's a very like physical like actor, and it's really good. Like Nacho Libre, same thing. It's a great movie.
I like Nacho Libre. I think Nacho Libre was also written by the same guy that wrote
Napoleon.
School of Rock.
Oh, what? Mm-hmm. Well, I thought it was Napoleon Dynamite.
No, the writer
director.
for both movies is the same.
Gotcha.
He also wrote that new HBO show, White Lotus. Is that? Have you seen that?
I haven't
Or-
checked it out. I saw an ad for it. But
Does that star Jack Black?
No, it has Steve Zahn in it.
yeah,
Steve Zahn.
You like him, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
he's great in Sahara.
He's same
McConaughey.
thing with him though. He's really like in That Thing You Do. He's really funny.
Oh, who is?
Isn't that our fan?
Oh. Yeah. That Thing You Do is a really funny movie.
It's good.
It's been a good week though. I like this week. Thanksgiving week. It's hard to top. So
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the trip. We go back. Bree and I leave tomorrow morning. So
It feels like you just got here.
I know. It sucks.
yeah, it goes by really quickly. It's a bummer, but I'll see Landon and Colby and Jordan
Like a week.
next week.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Will looks so sad.
Yeah. It's okay though.
You'll be busy. You and Mick, you guys can go do something fun.
Yeah.
You
Want
know,
to go do something?
if Ben,
Yeah.
if Ben finally gets better too. So
We go get sushi.
Yeah. Gosh, and we can order that monkey brain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
oh yeah, we went to a sushi. We went to a really good sushi
Yeah.
place the other
Avocado
night.
Sushi roll.
Yeah,
something like
here in
that.
Spokane.
It was really good.
Yeah, we stormed in and
Made a huge ruckus and
then ordered
I
so
left
much.
a
Ordered so much
30% tip
sushi.
because of it. I
Yeah.
felt so bad.
Yeah, and then Will had the most awkward exchange I've ever seen with a
Excuse
waitress,
me, so
which
many-
which I learned later was just normal for Will. So
Yeah.
what's the what's the
David's
thought process?
David's wife's sister started calling me a robot.
You were very robotic.
David's
To be
wife's
fair.
sister. Calling me a robot.
How am I not supposed to be a robot?
Sounds like something a robot.
Yeah, I
would
was
say.
just gonna say, are you trying to learn?
well, it's
How
like
do I
how do I
don't understand
become
why.
human?
I don't understand
What
why.
are
I don't understand
emotions?
why you guys and the sisters call me a robot.
I don't know. Sometimes it's just the cadence of your words, tone.
Also, I saw you drinking motor oil the other day. That was that was kind of a red flag. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you have this beeping light on your neck. It was going from blue to red, so I knew your battery was getting low.
And so my mood started to decrease pretty fast.
Yeah,
Is that why?
oh, hangry robot Will.
Oh, great. That's probably the worst thing to ever happen. Or the worst combination of things. Hangry robot.
You also have a charging port.
Huh?
What's the charger?
What? What's the port?
Okay. Let's
Wow,
next,
guys.
Next
Whoa.
topic. Next topic.
Yeah. So yeah, sushi.
I do not want to talk about my charging port.
Mick's finally settling in. I got to see his apartment.
Yeah.
I'm seeing what Michael's domestic life is like. I went over. He had a fully stocked kitchen of some off-brand cereal, some Greek yogurt, and some brandy.
Don't forget the milk
Oh,
and the broccoli in
and
the
some
freezer.
milk, and then there was frozen broccoli in the freezer. So that was Michael's house.
I'm doing good, guys.
But he he got his couch. So
I got a couch.
he's trying to catch up to Colby because Colby,
No,
they're in the
not
same
a race.
What if you just try to mirror exactly everything he did? Like you just get the exact same couch. You got the exact same
Get it?
I could find someone named Paige.
Yeah, find a girlfriend.
And then
Watch Dune.
and then hide her from all of you.
Yeah.
You can't meet her.
Mick and I met Colby's girlfriend.
Not by his desire though. It was
It was basically you two and Bree barging in and being like, "We're here. Time to meet her."
I mean, we asked him hey, can we make Paige? He's like, oh yeah, sure.
She was really nice. Colby was really awkward, but I don't understand the awkwardness because it's such a normal
Yes.
thing to have, a significant other and everything. And then we were
Yeah, it's
normal. Oh, I'm sorry, Landon. I didn't mean it in that way. I just
It's normal, we've all gone through that, and we'll all go through it multiple times. Right, guys?
Yeah. Huzzah.
Yes.
Will it happen?
Is it
no.
good? No.
But I'm glad I got to come and see you guys. It was fun to be back. I haven't been in Spokane for 2 years, so in another 2 or 3 years I'll be back again.
I do have a question though regarding apartments and Dave seeing stuff. So Dave,
When are you coming back? For permanence? No, just kidding. That's not the question. Go ahead.
Dave comes into my room in my apartment and sees that I have my desk set up in my bedroom with my PS5, my monitor, not a TV, but a monitor, so it belongs on a desk. And it's in my room, in the corner. Dave thinks that's the weirdest thing to put it in there, and he thinks I should have it out in the living room, like next to the TV.
I don't think it's the weirdest thing. It's just you have this new apartment. You have a bedroom. It's not a very large bedroom, but off of that, like when you first walk in, you walk into this very modestly sized living room with like a little dining nook off to the side that's off to the kitchen. And in this living room, when we first got there, was nothing except for the TV stand and the TV on top of it. Mick hadn't got his couch yet. And so it's this giant empty room that seems like it's perfect to like enjoy things in your free time, like the perfect place to do that. And then we go into his bedroom, and his like small-ish bedroom. It's not tiny, but I mean it's not large either. Has his bed. Is it a queen? Full bed. You know, door, closet for his walk-in. But then he has his, you know, desk off in the corner with his monitor and his PS5 and his Switch all plugged in there. So all of his like video game stuff is in his room plugged into this monitor. So to me, it just seems like if I was going to have all of these things, I'd probably I want to like maximize my space in the apartment and probably enjoy it in the living room. But that's just me. Like the living room right now is underutilized significantly.
He's only been there for like a couple weeks though.
But
Yeah,
it
give him some time.
sounds
Give him
like
some
though
time.
this is like that was his intention, and it's not going to move anywhere.
Well, you can
else.
get something else in the living room.
I just don't see why I would need to put it in it seems like
Set up like a PS3 in the living room for like watching movies and stuff.
I have like my streaming stuff for my TV, but like gaming, I'm like playing on a monitor on a desk. I feel like that, like putting that in the living room, like next to the couch, is just weird.
I don't think so. A lot of places have like a media area, or you can, and you don't even have to have like the screens next to each other. You can have in different parts of the living room.
I know, but it's just weird to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Glad we settled
I
this.
don't know. I have in my room, I have my PS4 and Switch hooked up to a TV and my PC hooked up to a monitor. And I only have one monitor, so I can have both going at once.
But also, like, you live at your parents', like, that is your room. So, like, Michael now has all of this space. Like, I would, like, I feel like it'd be like,
making Mick sad.
I'm not trying to make him sad. Mick brought it up. I didn't even bring up this
I mean, you
topic.
brought it up,
Not on the
I'm
show.
but I mean, you talked about it.
to you in private.
Can I defend Mick for a minute?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I wanna-
this never happens.
wanna
Go.
hear this.
Defend me. Yes.
I think it's tough. I will say from personal experience, like I've lived now, and this is the third place I've lived in on my own. And if I track back to the first place I lived at by myself in the Tri-Cities to now, the level of like, I feel like how homely it feels, I feel like has improved with each place that I've lived in. I don't know if people would stand by that. And I will say it's like really hard to like, when you're by yourself decorating and like making something feel like a living space, when you're mostly the only person there, there's not as much motivation to actually do a bunch of decorating and stuff. And also for me, my artistic abilities are like really low.
It also
Like,
depends on your personality as well. And I think
Yeah.
David has a very different
Yeah.
personality than Michael.
That's why I wanted to point it out, because I feel like maybe it's something he overlooked, or because also he was coming from some place where he had all of his stuff already in one room, and he took
I'm not
some of that
putting my
out.
couch and my TV in my bedroom. I mean, I'm using the living room space.
I know, I'm just saying, like, gaming seems more like a living room activity to me than like a bedroom activity.
If it's on a TV, sure, I would
Or
totally understand.
on a desk. Like, I've had almost all of my desks.
The living
in
room also isn't like that big.
I would say the living room is fairly large in comparison to.
Not when you like put another chair in that corner.
Oh, you could do it. You can make it work.
No.
Do you remember my apartment in Grand Rapids? Like how there was so much fit into stuff. Like
Yeah, I'm not so.
I'm using that as an example because
background.
we had a tiny apartment there.
Yeah, but like I'm not gonna like just because I have space somewhere, I'm not gonna like fill it with something just because there's space. I'm not like looking to like Tetris my living room.
I like Tetris.
Tetris is fun.
I don't want you to
Tetris is best.
Tetris it. I just feel like right now it's like you just have like the one long block, and then like you hit pause on the game, and then
Why do you hate me?
I don't hate you.
Why?
Yeah, Dave.
I just think it's
Time to own up to your
at some
opinions.
point you should move it out there and then like try it out, see how you like it. I don't think it's that weird to have a desk with a computer, like a computer setup, even though it's a PlayStation in the living room. Like I feel like that's not weird. I'm not trying to say like you have to have it in the living room. I'm just saying I think you should be open to having something like that in a living room. It's not weird to have a desk in a living room.
It's also weird and not. It's also not weird to have a desk in your bedroom. That's not a weird thing.
I would go for getting a second, like a TV stand and a second TV, like a bigger TV, and then maybe hook your PS4 up in the living room. Because then you could have like a setup for.
Wait, so 2 TVs in the living room?
Oh, do you have a TV in the living room?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's fine.
Yeah, I have my TV in my living room.
I don't know why you need a console in the living room.
I'm just saying his primary console would be in his bedroom. So like if he's going to like, because right now he has the PS5 in like if it was me, I would have my primary console in the living room and then maybe a secondary console in a bedroom if I had a screen in my bedroom.
It's just personal preference. It's where do you want to be the most?
Yeah, I just like to maximize my space. So like I already use my bedroom for sleeping and other things, and then I have like the living room, for other stuff as well. And like my house, or my apartment, we have a second bedroom. So like in that one, that's essentially like an office. So in that one,
are you dunking on Mick?
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I only have 1 bedroom apartment.
It was
Dave.
like then in my studio apartment.
I'm just explaining what I have right now. Like in
our
past
vacation
setup,
cabin up north of.
No, in our past setup, we just had 1 bedroom. So I had my desk in the same room as the TV. So that's just.
You know what, Dave? When you buy an apartment for yourself one day, you can go ahead and decorate it on your own.
We have done that.
Anyway, good job, Michael.
Thank you. Good job, Mick.
That's why I'm saying that his
what?
choice just seemed odd to me.
You know
That's
what? I'll
all.
Transcend the haters.
I'll send you like a picture of the floor plan, and you show me like where the desk should go.
Oh, I would love to do that. That would be really cool. I've done that before.
Have you ever thought of being a home designer? Like if you ever had to work again?
Maybe. I like designing things. I like organizing things. Organizing things is this weird, like, I get a weird enjoyment out of that.
Freak.
I know. It's weird.
Yeah. I wish I had that. Then I think I'd enjoy a lot more jobs. But
yeah. Well, I guess we should probably go. But, it was sad that, this is the only time I get to do the in-person podcast for the foreseeable future. So anyway, we'll... Mick,
I'm really grateful you agreed to help deep clean my apartment after my house. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, Dave shows up to Landon's house and just instantly starts like vacuuming and cleaning stuff. And
I didn't think it was that dirty.
No, that's not what it was. I just felt like we were hosting together. You were working on the beef Wellington, so I was like, oh, I want to do something helpful.
Dave.
So I want to be like a good host. I want to help out and be a good host.
Dave's just taking charge.
Well, yes, that is what I was doing.
that's
but
what
I was
Dave
cleaning.
does.
I wasn't
in a group.
I wasn't yelling at people to do stuff. I was just doing things.
Could you imagine if Dave was like Colby in a friend group? I don't think that'd work out.
Like what? Like what do you mean? What offensive thing are you trying to say about Colby?
I'm not trying to say. I'm just saying that Colby's like more of a follower than a leader. I don't think that's offensive, right?
I just don't think Colby cares enough.
Yeah, that's like the point. Like it's like
Okay,
Dave is like somebody who is like a really good planner. So I'm trying to imagine Dave as somebody who doesn't like plan things and organize things and
he'd be a completely different person.
well, never mind.
If I didn't do that then for us, would anyone step up into that position? Or
I don't know.
I could see Will probably doing
Maybe.
that. I'm just too lazy.
I think Landon also would have.
I try to do some organizing.
Would it, like Landon's the biggest like, oh, people can come over to my place, like kind of. Yeah. I also throw those ideas out there.
Mick's living room's not so.
Yeah, I guess I can't like have people over unless I get a desk in there.
Yeah.
It's not a livable space.
So what would Colby be like then as a leader?
Oh, insufferable. Just kidding.
It'd be interesting.
Tyrannical?
It'd be sporadic.
I think it'd be a lot more sporadic. There'd be less things planned and more of like, hey, things are happening now. Boom.
Or hey, I got an idea. Let's do this. Boom.
Yeah. Or hey, time to cancel the event.
Boom.
Colby might take offense to that because I think he thinks more that he is someone has like a rigid schedule that he tries to follow.
Well, okay. So I think in his own mind, he has that. I think one of his...
That's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah. In his own mind, he has that. How he communicates that is very different. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's a volatile individual too, so I think plans can change on a dime if that's kind of what you were saying.
Yes.
We each have our own.
Oh, totally. Yeah. This is not trying to dunk on anybody or put anybody down. It's just saying that.
It's probably why we work as a friend group.
Right. Yeah.
So,
we each have our own strengths and weaknesses.
If we were all Daves,
we would hate each other.
Yeah.
it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
That's true. I don't think I'd get along very well with people that are like me, and I don't think I have gotten along with people who are like me in the past. So
Does that ever like make you sad?
No, it just makes it makes sense.
It makes
I
sense.
think. Yeah.
Okay. Because like when I don't get along with somebody who shares like the same flaws as me, like it makes me like, oh man, maybe I should really relook at myself.
I think there are certain personalities though that like they're like where you are more likely to like people like you or get along with people like you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like for someone like me, I tend to like to take charge of certain things and plan. You can't have a lot of people do that, or else like there's conflict of organization, which makes it then where if you're two people like that, the other person's like, well, one of us has to like not do that thing, and both of us are like, well, it should be the other person because I already have an idea and a thought process of how this should go. For someone who is more laid back, or is like someone who's more like I don't like the word follower. I wish there was a better like.
Follower is mostly a joke. It's more that
there's got to be like a better way.
They're easily adaptable to other people's plans. Easily adaptable to what other people want to do.
I think someone like that is much more likely to get along with people who follow that same type of
personality,
or mindset, because those seem compatible.
Yeah.
So, like that's why like Bree and I get along well, because I tend to be much more of like a planning person, and she is less like that. She likes to have other people make plans, and then I like making plans. So we tend to, for the most part, get along in that regard. So
yeah.
I could not marry someone who is similar to myself. So.
Opposites attract, I guess.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, anyway, we'll probably leave it at that. So
yeah.
We'll be back next week. Unfortunately, I will be, next week.
We might have to record.
We might have to record early. Yeah. So maybe
I could just do podcast.
Yeah, just us.
The Two Keys podcast.
Just the two of us.
You could get some guests on. You could, if Ben's well, you could talk to him,
Talk to Ben.
Talk to Jesse and see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll probably record early, and then I will be remote again, unfortunately. So
could be the Guest Keys podcast next week.
Yeah. Anyway, so thank you for listening this week.
Well, thank you for being.
Yeah, thank you for being here and doing this.
Thank you
in person.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cool having you here.
Thank you for letting me.
Thank you, Dave.
For letting me come into your house.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just we really appreciate you coming here, and we miss you all the time. So
yes, thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Will. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and happy Friendsgiving, everybody.
Yes.
Yay.
Look forward to next year when
2021. Bye.
Make a 12-pound beef Wellington, one roast.
Jeez.
We'll cook it over a fire.
37 lobster tails.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad.
crud.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.